At least 310 people have been detained across France as the embattled government faces backlash for forcing through pension reforms that will see the country's retirement age raised by 2 years. Interior Minister Gérald Darmanin told French radio RTL that most of the arrests made on Thursday night were in Paris. Although calm had returned to the capital's streets by Friday morning, government ministers were on the defensive following Thursday night's impromptu protests. The French government on Thursday forced through controversial plans to raise the country's retirement age from 62 to 64, a move that has inflamed the country's weeks-long protest movement. Government spokesperson Olivier Véran and Budget Minister Gabriel Attal both repeated President Emmanuel Macron's claim that the government hadn't wanted to use its constitutional power to push through the law. They were speaking to French outlets, LCI and France Inter respectively. "If we don't do today, it's much more brutal measures that we will have to do in future," Attal said. The International Criminal Court, ICC, on Friday issued an arrest warrant for Russian President Vladimir Putin and Russian official Maria Lvova-Belova for an alleged scheme to deport Ukrainian children to Russia. The court said there are reasonable grounds to believe that Mr. Putin bears individual criminal responsibility for the alleged crimes, for having committed them directly alongside others, and for his failure to exercise control properly over civilian and military subordinates who committed the acts. The Kremlin called the ICC's decision outrageous and unacceptable. "We consider the very posing of the question outrageous and unacceptable. Russia, like a number of states, does not recognize the jurisdiction of this court and, accordingly, any decisions of this kind are null and void for the Russian Federation from the point of view of law," Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov tweeted on Friday. Hundreds of Ukrainian children have disappeared since Russia's February 2022 invasion, according to official Ukrainian statistics. Mexico's President Andrés Manuel López Obrador has dismissed concerns about his plan to shrink the country's electoral watchdog on Monday, accusing protesters of links to drug traffickers. Images of a mass protest in Mexico City on Sunday showed tens of thousands of people wearing pink. P is the color of the National Electoral Institute, INE, which oversees elections and has been accused of partisanship by López Obrador. Many protesters held signs that read, "Hands off the INE." Speaking during his daily morning press conference on Monday, López Obrador mocked the placards, saying what they meant was, "Hands off corruption." According to them, privileges are not touched, the narco state is not touched, he added, claiming without evidence that protest leaders have been part of the corruption in Mexico, they have belonged to the narco state. Some 13,000 Mexican migrant workers are owed $6.5 million in unpaid wages, according to a tweet from the United States Department of Labor's Bureau of International Labor Affairs, which announced a joint effort with Mexico to locate and compensate the workers. This program will return millions of dollars in back wages to Mexican nationals who participated in U.S. temporary foreign worker programs, tweeted Ken Salazar, the United States ambassador to Mexico, on Tuesday. The Mexican Ministry and the United States Department of Labor's Bureau of International Labor Affairs is launching the H-2A Workers' Wages Recovery Program to ensure the workers can collect their compensation, Salazar added. The partnership will attempt to locate the migrant workers who are believed to have received less than the legally established salary from their employers in the United States, according to a press release by Mexico's Ministry of Labor and Social Welfare. It may seem surprising that First Republic, a mid-sized bank catering to wealthy clients in coastal states, became such a danger to the American banking system that the government had to cudgel the industry to stage an intervention. It's the biggest example of a bank that could go down and shouldn't go down. A first-class bank said a source close to the 48-hour deal to infuse First Republic with $30 billion in cash. San Francisco-based First Republic, the 14th largest bank in the country, received the cash infusion from 11 rivals, including America's largest lenders. The government-organized rescue isn't a bailout. Its goal is to give the bank enough cash to meet customer withdrawals and assure investors that it can withstand the turbulence that's shaken the industry over the past week. So far, it's not having the desired effect. First Republic shares fell 25% Friday. Its rescuers are also struggling, with JP Morgan Chase, JPM, down 3% and Bank of America, BAC, falling 4%.